exciting edition for you today. Not only are we going to talk about some incredible technology, the advancement of AI, but we're going to be diving into a sector that I have a lot of interest in and have been following for some time, and that's the insurance sector, and seeing how there's the convergence between AI and insurance tech, specifically covering in the automotive space. We're going to be joined by the CEO and founder of Roadzen, the publicly traded company trading on the NASDAQ right now. So that's going to be an exciting conversation. But before we get into the program, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, we have special editions of the American Wallet newsletter on LinkedIn that we put out, where we feature these interviews with the various companies and the leaderships of these companies as we follow the sector and we grow the overall awareness of what's going on with these companies and the differences and the positive impacts they're making in their industries, and obviously in the markets that we are covering today, both on the NYSE and the NASDAQ, both here domestically and globally. So as always, I appreciate you tuning into the program. I am your host, Hunter Gaylor, and thank you for always tuning in, because we've got a lot of opportunities to consider.
Coming to you live with the insight you need from the financials and political capitals of the world to the heart of innovation. This is Opportunities to Consider with your host, author, speaker, and corporate strategist, Hunter Gaylor.
Welcome back, everyone, to Markets Hunter. I am your host, Hunter Gaylor, and thank you for joining me on the program today in another episode of Markets Hunters, where we are going to dive deep into the forces that are shaping our financial futures. As we see the ever game-changing impact of artificial intelligence, imagine a world where insurance policies are tailored to your exact needs. Claims are processed instantly, and fraud is detected before it even happens. AI is not just enhancing the efficiency of the insurance industry, it is revolutionizing the entire landscape, from predictive analytics to chatbots providing 24/7 customer service. AI is transforming how insurance operates and interacts with us. So I am pleased to bring in the founder and the CEO, Rohan of Roadzen. Rohan, welcome to the program. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Delighted to be here, Hunter. Very nice to see you today.
Absolutely. Nice to see you. I want to start out with, Rohan, the growth of your company. Incredible technology, absolutely incredible innovation. But I want to start with what your company's headline is: driving the future of insurance. And I think that's a great place to start. You've got offices in San Francisco, London, Paris, Singapore, all across India. You've got these markets covered. You are obviously taking on the market by storm. You are driving the future of insurance. So what led you to this industry sector? What led you to this application? We're very interested to hear more from you.
Yeah, I'm the CEO and founder of Roadzen, and I started the company because my friend had an accident on the road, and it took me about 4.5 hours to get him help, to get his car towed, to file his claim, and just felt like there's no technology to help me. I'm just doing phone calls, and there has to be a better process, and we can use AI. My own background is I studied robotics and AI at Carnegie Mellon, and wanted to basically use my background to transform this massive industry. The other thing we were super keen on is that cars are becoming software on wheels, and this is going to change the entire face of mobility. And the world of insurance has to keep pace with the changes that are happening in the world of mobility. And we think AI will completely transform the auto insurance industry, right from underwriting to claims management, distribution, road safety. And Roadzen is a company that applies its technology across the spectrum and improves the insurance experience for every single driver on the road.
Rohan, obviously this is a big deal, right? I mean, we all drive cars, or at least a large percentage of the population drives cars. Accidents are happening all of the time. Claims adjustments is massive. I've dealt in similar scenarios as you have, and it's very frustrating. But when you look at the overall market, and we hear a lot about AI, we just heard about ChatGPT-4 that just released their new version that's coming out, which is making waves in the market. We've heard about what the NVIDIA chips doing with AI. But when you look at this particular market, it seems to me, from at least what our analysts have covered, that Roadzen is one of the most advanced AI platforms for the insurance tech space. Can you speak to that?
I think there are two kinds of AI companies. One is the horizontal AI, which are building large models that basically trying to target the general intelligence or consumer sector. So the chat GPT falls into that world. What Roadzen does is we are focused on vertical AI. We think this will be a massive creator of enterprise value and will transform various industries. And the insurance industry and the auto insurance industry in particular is a great example of that. What we do is we build agentic AI or agents that perform one task with high precision, do it again and again repeatedly. So, high precision and accuracy on our models. And we've built hundreds of models that do stuff like document processing in real time, that can underwrite a person's driving behavior on the road, that can look at a car and determine what are the parts that are damaged, what can be replaced, what needs to be repaired, that can also prevent accidents before they happen. So, doing driver distraction monitoring, giving an alert to the driver before they see a dangerous event on the road. And we've seen reduction almost 70% in the number of accidents on the road for fleets who work with us, who've adopted our technology. So, we think that you can completely reshape the future of insurance by using these vertical AI, smaller agentic models that do underwriting, that do distribution, that do claims management, road safety, and completely transform this industry.
And I would assume that when you look at some of the clients that you have, I mean, from Jaguar, Tata, Mercedes, some of the leading, car brands out there, and automobile companies. I mean, it's really incredible, especially, and I'd like you to dive into kind of a little bit of the enterprise aspect that Roadzen does. And by enterprise, I'm talking about your commercial fleet management, right? And how that plays and how that's such a unique value proposition in the market that Roadzen offers that, say, really nobody else does at this point.
Absolutely. One thing we believe is for insurance to be successful, you want to make sure that the fleets are safe. And today, Roadzen works with 3,200 customers across the world, of which 96 are enterprise customers that include, some of the leading car companies in the world, some of the leading insurance companies in the world that sell auto insurance, and large commercial fleets. And these large commercial fleets, what they want their cars to remain on the road. They want to make sure that their vehicles are safer, that they get lower insurance premiums. Insurance premiums for commercial auto have been going up above 10% CAGR every year for the last 7 to 10 years. And finally, if there is a claim, they want the claim to be processed quickly so they can get their cars back on the road because they make money using it. And we work with fleets to achieve all of these outcomes, to give them lower insurance by driving better safety behaviors, give them fast claims management, and do all of this in an integrated and real time platform that they can use. And one of the unique things about Roadzen is because we attack the entire stack from road safety to selling insurance to claims, we are uniquely placed in this universe. And we are probably one of the only companies that is global in this space.
So I think that's a great segue into my next question because you are global. Can we talk a little bit about Inception? Obviously, you're a dominant player in the Indian market. And when we look at the Indian market, this market's worth about 240 million per month if you were to convert theoretically the entire market, right? So talk to me a little bit about the 6 million commercial that you have in India alone and how that's translating to the other geographical pinpoints that you have strategically targeted across the globe.
We began in India, and one of the key reasons we began in India was India has 2% of the world's cars, but 13% of the accidents on the road happen in India, in the world. So, this is a market that needs great solutions around road safety and around insurance because the sector is super stressed. You cannot make that much money if your cars are constantly getting into accidents, right? So, we
Right.
began in India, we then grew out of India, and we say made in India for the world. We grew from about $1 million of revenue last quarter annually to about $15 million a quarter, and we are growing rapidly over the last 3.5 years. So you've seen a massive transition as we grew out of India from about a million of revenue to about 60 million on an annualized basis. And now we attack three core markets: the Indian market, which is massive and growing. It's one of the fastest growing insurance and automotive markets in the world. We also are present in the UK and Paris, and we attack the European market, which is one of the most high margin entrenched insurance markets. And since last year, we've been present in the US and growing very rapidly in the US as well. And because the US, for example, has 300 million vehicles on the road, and we think this will over time become our biggest market.
Sure. Well, I mean, if we just look at the revenues based on your charts, you're looking at 20 million per quarter break even, and you're on target to pretty much reach 30 million per quarter, and you'll be profitable this year. Would those numbers be an accurate statement?
We are looking at growing, almost doubling revenue this year, and we are continuing to, Roadzen does not need a lot of capital to be able to get there. We are very lean as a company, and that is really coming from our origins and building the core technology and AI from a lab in India. And we think that we can achieve these from our current pipeline of clients, as well as we have certain inorganic growth opportunities that we see ahead of us.
Well, and I mean, when you look at these, you're closing contracts day in and day out. You've got thousands of clients all around the world. There's conversations around Roadzen, being that you're traded on the Nasdaq, around the Russell 2000. Can you shed some light on where you're at in that process and what the likelihood of you joining the Russell 2000 is?
Well, we've seen research from Piper Sandler and Jeffries that says that Roadzen should be included and should be one of the top stocks to buy because of liquidity pressure for the Russell. So, this is obviously our first taste of the public market and the Russell inclusion. But as of April 30th, which is rank day, we expect that Roadzen should be included, and certain research, as I said, from Piper and Jeffries indicates that that should happen. And that would be a really interesting event and a positive catalyst for the company.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've spoken with many companies that have been on the Russell 2000, and when you look at the institutional development that brings and institutional investment that brings, it's obviously a huge milestone for your company. So we'll be definitely following that very closely along. So I think it's absolutely an incredible journey that you've had thus far. And you're definitely on the road to success. Hopefully, no claims, no pun intended. But Rohan, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. I want to leave you with the final thoughts on any key milestones that we should be looking forward to, any new developments or announcements that should be coming down the pipe that we should be following, and really kind of understanding for our audience why Roadzen.
I think the key thing that we look at long term is Roadzen is targeting a massive, almost $1 trillion industry in auto insurance. We are one of a few players who has the technology, the research in AI, and the vertical AI models that have been developed around mobility and insurance. There are about 1.5 billion vehicles on the road. We believe that this entire market is in need of what we produce as solutions. So we think there's a tremendous growth potential for the company. And the second thing is, look, we're a public company. There are very few public companies that are going to be approaching 100 million of revenue, have real AI, and are targeting a massive space like the one we are in at the intersection of mobility and insurance. So we think that creates a great story for the markets, and we are looking forward to executing on our vision over the next few quarters and also the long term.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. I mean, when we look at the mobility market and what's going on, we look at the ever growing insurance market. I mean, it just putting two and two together makes for such a story. And it's definitely a story that we're going to be following, and we're going to be following very closely. And we're going to be very heavily involved in making sure that the word gets out on this, because not only is it positive for the market and for the shareholders, but I would take a step of faith out there and say it's actually good for the consumer. It's good to be able to use this technology because they can process claims faster. They can get on the road again. It creates a safer environment. So you're actually helping the people as well. And I think that tells a very good story.
One of the key things today is the number one contributor to US inflation is auto insurance, which has grown 22% year over year. And you can see that in the latest CPI reports. And we think
Right.
that we are the solution to solving this problem because consumers cannot afford to pay 20% year on year on their
No,
auto insurance
no.
premiums. They are going to be priced out of the market. So, telematics, reducing fraud, getting claims taken care of faster. These are the solutions for customers and for insurance companies to do this profitably and to do it at a low price. And we think Roadzen is in prime position to address that.
Well, and safer drivers lead to lower premiums, and that creates a safer environment as well. So I couldn't agree with you more. Rohan, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. For anyone that is looking to get more information, you can go to their website, Roadzen. You follow them, please, on Twitter or X now, which is Roadzen Inc., and on Instagram, Roadzen Inc. And follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter, or X now, Twitter and Instagram. I'll be posting this interview there later today, but this has been an excellent conversation, Rohan. We want to keep the conversation going, and we really appreciate you joining the program today.
Thanks a lot. Delighted to be here.
Thank you, Rohan. It's great to see you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another incredible interview with what an incredible CEO. I mean, taking something from helping his friend into close to $100 million a year company on the NASDAQ. What an incredible journey. We're definitely be following this company. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. I will put in the postings below links to all of their websites, their press releases, and we'll be following the stock very, very closely. And, it's companies like this that we love to highlight on our program because they are doing exceptionally great things in the marketplace, especially when we look at how AI is being applied in certain industries and how the effect is actually measurable. And that's really great to see from Roadzen. So as always, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Markets Hunters. I'm Hunter Gaylor. And as always, it's a pleasure to bring you a lot of opportunities to consider. And stay tuned for an article on LinkedIn that I will be doing on Roadzen on the future of insurance that will come out on our American Wallet newsletter on LinkedIn. So make sure you like and subscribe for more information. And we will come back to you next week with a lot more information and interviews and conversations. We look forward to talking with you then.